So, a auto mechanic shop run by Chinese opened our ferry, and for whatever reason, the lines got bigger and bigger. And this was because of the service that they gave, not overcharging customers, getting it done right the first time, and if your car needed a service or something, they would do it properly and they had all the equipment. Now, similar to the construction industry where you see all these buildings going up with all these Chinese working on it. Do they have work permits to build the buildings? Do they have work permits to build these hotels? I'm sure they do. And the government has issued them work permits. There are properties all over Jackson, Skyline Drive, everywhere. Middlesbrough, Paddington, New Kingston that are going up, and you see a lot of Chinese workers. You actually see workers from other countries, not just Jamaica, and they have permits. So these guys got together and realized that the industry needed this service, and they opened a car auto repair shop, and it went viral. There were mechanics that were telling people that they need all these parts. They would go to auto dealers and be told that it's 80,000 and 100,000 for oil change, and people just can't afford it. They're quick to sell you the car and quick to tell you about their service, but when something goes wrong, you pay a fortune. The other day, I needed a seatbelt for my car, and I was told it could not be fixed, and it cost me about 80,000 Jamaican just to replace that seatbelt. Um, so these guys went into business and they were offering people that have cars, buses, taxis, and the list goes on, an affordable service package. You went there, you were treated well, you had a room you could sit down, you could get a cup of coffee if you want, and you were treated like somebody, like a customer. And they would give you the information on the car immediately, I understand. And they would tell you exactly what it wants, and we're able to solve it more than likely immediately. And I understand that looking at TikTok and listening to people, there's a lot of people went to mechanics for a long time with their cars and were told how much parts it wanted and how much thousands it was going to cost. And these are the same cars that went to this shop, this mechanic shop that these Chinese people opened, and got it done for little and nothing without changing any parts. So I think the government should look into that and look at this establishment and say, well, the same way we have them coming to build roads, and we have them coming to build sky rises, and we have them coming to work on our construction, then we need to allow them to open businesses. So give them the necessary work permits that they need. Let them reopen these mechanic shops. They can open it right across Jamaica. This will make it some more affordable for owners of cars, vehicles, buses. Maybe they can take their cars there. They get maintained and serviced properly, so we don't have these damages and these accidents on the road, because a lot of these people can't afford to fix their cars with these high expensive garages. So they go on batter, they find a little man to patch it up, and then they have an accident. That's my 2 cents on this, but I was going to take my car there to test them. Now, I have an amazing mechanic. He comes to my house. He's very affordable. He does an exceptional job, so I wouldn't be replacing him, but there are some things that he can't do. So I was thinking, one out of maybe a 40 are like my mechanic that are willing to show you the love and the passion and come there and solve your problem no matter where you are. A lot of them want to dig out your eye, you know? They just want to dig out your eye. Um, so I think that I was going to test this place. I saw long lines and I said, wow, I don't really want to join that line. Let me see if I can take my car there. There's a problem I have with my car. I didn't want to go to the dealer because I said the part is like all $100,000 at the dealer, and I don't think it needs a part. I think it can be fixed. So I was going to take my car there, and then I said that they temporarily shut it down. Now I wonder why. Who shut it down? What did they shut down with for a reason? Was it affecting other businesses that they know people who have? Were they affecting car dealers that were losing business to them? Well, I understand you have to protect people and they must have work permits, but the same way issue them work permits for all the other businesses that you have done, from the construction, as I said, to roadworks, to highways. You see them everywhere. Then I think we need to try and get them into the system, issue them that temporary work permit, check out the garage and make sure it's run well. Like any establishment, it meets all the Bureau standard and everything else, and let them open back up. And maybe that will really inject the competition to come down with prices. Just like I know a security company many years ago, the security costs were out of this whack, 8,000 to 9,000 a month, and you couldn't afford to have security and arm response and panic button. And this company came into Jamaica and they opened a security company, brought the cost all the way down, offered free service, free panic, great arm response, and it came all the way down till all the other security companies had to reduce their prices. And that's what we need. We need to have a competitive system. We need to have companies that are doing good job, great jobs actually. It must be a competitive market where we fight to give the service, but we have to keep our prices reasonable. We lose a job. And just like the Jamaica Public Service Company, I think that the government should look at the Chinese company or look at other companies like that and say, you know what would it take to bring you into our country? The contract for our electricity company will soon expire. And like anything else, things can change. What is the outlay? Maybe we start somewhere small. Let us start in Mandeville or Maypen, or let us start in Portmore, and we see how you operate, just like how the cable companies expanded. Cable companies were massively opening every day and expanding to give people proper television service that our television companies could not provide. It's pure stupidness on the channel. They couldn't provide that service. You couldn't get anything. So I think I'm going to look at this. I think putting it on a temporary hold is okay, but you need to look at all the options, get them into the system, get their permits up and running, and put them back to work, and get those cars properly serviced and fixed. Let the competition fight for itself to give that quality service. If more Jamaicans want to go into that service, let them hire them, teach them the business, teach them how to do proper auto repairs, have a little training shop through the Chinese. That's my 2 cents today.